Hello, Trident family. It's Evan here from Trident Incorporated. We are so excited to start this YouTube journey with you all. We appreciate all the support on whatnot, but it is time to expand the portfolio just a little bit. And today, right before the NFL season, we are going to be going over 3 underrated players that we think could be pretty good buys before the NFL season truly kicks off. Now, we do have 1 quarterback, 1 running back, and 1 wide receiver. First off, offensive players normally sell better than defensive players. We know there are a lot of talented, young defensive players in the NFL nowadays, but when you look at the numbers and you look at what sells for what, offense is where it's at, unfortunately, right? We do think that, a lot of times in the hobby, these defensive players do get undervalued. So if you have a PC of a certain team or a certain player that's on defense, hey, that's a great thing to have because you're going to be able to get some nice stuff for not as expensive prices as if they were a quarterback or a wide receiver or even a running back. So with that being said, let's go. Without further ado, let's get right into it and talk about Bryce Young. Now, I know the number 1 overall pick from the 2023 NFL draft, it wouldn't really be an underrated buy per se, but when comparing him to the other quarterbacks in the 2023 NFL draft class, I do think there's a little bit of potential here if Bryce Young decides to put it together. This guy was the number 1 overall pick for a reason. Now, things did not go well in his rookie season in Carolina. They didn't start well at all. They fired their head coach, Frank Reich, midway through the season, and it was just a mess in Carolina. Now they have a brand new head coach who was an offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay beforehand. They have a brand new offensive system, and I think Bryce Young could actually be in for a nice little bounce back season here after getting his feet wet in the NFL. Rookie season, sometimes guys boom. We've seen CJ Stroud. Sometimes it doesn't go as well. Sometimes it doesn't click like that for a lot of guys, and Bryce Young could be one of those guys. Right now on eBay, you can get a blue hyper out of Donruss Optic of Bryce Young for $15 plus shipping, and that's our best offer right now. Right now, you can grab that card. It is raw. Right now, though, you can grab that card. Or you can go and buy Anthony Richardson, that same exact blue hyper parallel, for $46, which is what it just sold for on Monday, September 2nd. That is the most recent sale of the Anthony Richardson blue hyper. Same parallel, same product. Anthony Richardson did not play many games for the Indianapolis Colts last year due to injury. He's coming back again this year. He is a very raw prospect, a talented prospect, but a raw prospect. I just don't see why Anthony Richardson has been getting all this love, $46, and you can get Bryce Young for $15, potentially even lower if you make an offer or whatever it may be. Bryce Young has actually become incredibly cheap right now, and before the season starts, now would be the time to buy. If he goes out and he starts fast and has 2 or 3 good games, that's a $15 card. That turns into maybe a $25, $30 card. You could be doubling your money at that point. So I do think Bryce Young could be worth it, and especially because it won't break the bank. It's not like you're going in and spending thousands of dollars of cards. And look, on this channel, we are not going to tell you that you have to spend X amount of money or thousands or hundreds of dollars on these cards. These are going to be more low risk, high reward type plays that I think a lot of people could benefit from as the NFL season goes on, as guys play and markets rise basically in the hobby. Another player we're going to be talking about is Cincinnati Bengals running back Chase Brown. Now, Chase Brown did not do much last year, okay? Only 44 carries for 179 yards last year in his rookie season. He is entering his second year just like Bryce Young is as well. But Chase Brown now enters a situation in Cincinnati where they did sign Zach Moss in the offseason, but they traded away Joe Mixon to the Houston Texans. That could open up a lot of opportunity for Chase Brown. And by season's end, heck, by mid-season, he might even be the starter in Cincinnati, or at least getting a good bit of reps And you can get a lot of interesting cards, a lot of good cards, quality cards of Chase Brown right now. You can get his silver prism for under $5. You can get a laser for under $5. You can get a lot of different prism parallels for under $5 right now. A lot of nice stuff. There's the variation I saw that was under $10. So a lot of nice Chase Brown stuff where if that's Bijan Robinson, and I understand they are two different players, but if that's Bijan Robinson, those prices are probably much higher than that at that point. So I think Chase Brown, considering he might be a starter and play a good bit for a Cincinnati team that I think is pretty good and could have a pretty deep playoff run with Joe Burrow now back, I do wonder if Chase Brown's market is going to rise pretty quickly in this NFL season, especially with, like I said, Joe Mixon being out of the picture. So Chase Brown is somebody that I would definitely be keeping an eye on if I were somebody who likes to prospect a little bit, right? I wouldn't necessarily call it prospecting because he is in the NFL. He does have the talent. He has the opportunity, but taking a guy who maybe isn't a starter right now, but eventually could get more reps and lead into being a starter. And again, it's a low risk move. If you're out $4, you're out $4, but it also, that $4 card could become a $10 card pretty quickly. And like I said, that's what we're going to be looking for here. Underrated players in the hobby that could end up making you guys some money in just a few short months. And I think that's the goal here, right? Finally, we are going to be talking about Chiefs wide receiver Marquise Hollywood Brown. Now, I do have to say there are some injury concerns with Hollywood Brown. There is a injury concern. I don't believe he's going to play week 1. He might be out the first few weeks of the season. However, you can get numbered stuff. You can get patches. You can get rookies when he's in a Ravens uniform. He's not in the Chiefs uniform. This is his first year in Kansas City. You can get rookies, optic, prism, whatever it may be. You can get PSA 9s. You can get PSA 10s. You can get a PSA 9 for under $20 of this guy. You can get numbered cards for sometimes under $2 or $3. You can find it in a dollar bin sometimes. You can get some nice stuff for Marquise Hollywood Brown at an affordable cost. And especially a guy who is on one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team, the team that's going off a repeat of Super Bowl, going for a three-peat, going to be playing deep into the NFL playoffs, we all expect at least. And he could be a pretty big factor in that. Now, I know Kansas City has a lot of talent. They have Rashee Rice, Isaiah Pacheco. They drafted Xavier Worthy. They have, obviously, Travis Kelce. But I do think Hollywood Brown here could have some potential to make a real big impact. You buy up his cards now, all the cheapest cards, you could be selling them during playoff time. He has a good playoff game, ends up winning them the AFC Championship game or something. Those cards boom. So I definitely think if you have an opportunity to land a Hollywood Brown, like I said, rookie card, there's silver rookies, there's prism rookies that are all over the place that are affordable. They really are, are affordable in our eyes. And again, there's numbered stuff, there's patches, there's a lot of value to be had with a guy who has had talent throughout his career, hasn't been on the greatest of teams, was on the Ravens early, but the Ravens weren't as good when he was with them. And then he was with the Cardinals, now on the Kansas City Chiefs. I think there's a big opportunity here for a big jump. I think whenever you're on an elite team like the Chiefs, I think whoever benefits from that is going to be a guy like Marquise Brown, who, if he has a really good year, I do think he could see a jump in his market, which isn't really evident right now, partially because he is injured. I do think that hurts his value a little bit, but take advantage of that right now. I would look at this as an opportunity to buy him, not necessarily an opportunity to avoid him. I would look at this as, hey, he's injured right now. He's going to come back eventually. It doesn't sound like it's season ending or anything. So I would look at this as an opportunity to go out and buy Marquise Brown. But let me know what you guys think. Again, these are just suggestions. These are not us telling you have to. These are just 3 players that we find underrated in this hobby right now ahead of the NFL season that could have their cards go up in value rather quickly, or maybe it's a long play. Again, I talked about Hollywood Brown potentially being a playoff darling, basically. I talked about Chase Brown maybe being in the first few weeks. So it is different circumstances for every guy, but Let us know what you guys think. What players are you chasing after this NFL season? We are always curious to hear that. We want to thank you all for the support on Whatnot. Please be sure to check out Trident Incorporated on Whatnot. Check out our Whatnot store, which includes all of our anytime auctions. Get those bids in, folks. They are going to be updating the anytime auctions almost all the time, and there is going to be some heat in there, folks, and not just cards. Memorabilia. Ran a Magic Johnson signed jersey the other week. Dominique Wilkins signed jersey the other week. Michael Vick signed cleat, including the cards. Like, there is some serious heat in the anytime auction, so be sure to check them out. Never miss a stream on Trident Incorporated, the home of the true collector. Thank you all for watching, and stay collecting.